And that's water, by the way. What is up, guys? How's it going? Matthew here. New year, new video. And since everybody's making a video about things developers should learn in 2020, well, I couldn't miss the party. Now, these recommendations are drawn from many sources. However, the most notable ones would be Stack Overflow, HackerRank, and State of JavaScript surveys. Now, I'm not here to waste your time, so let's dive right into it. I will start with the number one thing that you should learn in 2020, and that is TypeScript. Numbers speak for themselves. TypeScript is the definitive way to write scalable JavaScript code right now, and that's a fact. Even if you take a look at all the JavaScript frameworks in the scene right now, they either have first-class TypeScript support or they're working and implementing it. I'm actually thinking of making a dedicated video to TypeScript, so I'm not gonna go too into the details. However, some of the reasons why developers love TypeScript is because it offers scalable code, way less bugs during runtime, and even if there are any bugs, the debugging process is way easier, as well as refactoring. And because I know that some of you like to be on the cutting edge with those JavaScript features, you can use future JavaScript today. What more do you want? And I'm thirsty. Coming up in number two, we've got, you guessed it, React. Need I say more? Any front-end related article, chart, statistic you look at these days, React is bound to be up there. And there's a good reason. From concur mode all the way to React hooks, now is the best time to get into React. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that other frameworks are bad. If anything, just last year I started working with Vue and I came to love it. However, if we're talking strictly from a popularity and community perspective, then React's the way to go. Number three, we've got GraphQL. Facebook's been killing it with its contribution to the developer community, and don't even get me started about ReasonML. As our applications grow in complexity, so do data consumption needs, and that's where GraphQL comes in. Unlike your typical RESTful API, where you have to construct multiple endpoints to get the data you need, and sometimes you end up overfetching, no, none of that. GraphQL takes care of everything. It gives the front-end developers the power they need. However, with great power, well, you know how that quote ends. I digress, but my point still remains. GraphQL is already used by teams of all sizes in many environments and languages to power mobile apps, APIs, and web applications. So it's certainly here to stay. In number four, we've got a popular Node.js framework, which I'm sure all of you have heard about if you've played with Node.js, Express.js. Express is unopinionated, fast, and flexible. It's also incredibly easy and intuitive to set up an API with its amazing community support, with plethora of libraries, plugins, and middlewares that it offers. And as mentioned previously, you can combine it with TypeScript for some scalable goodness. Now, as I mentioned before, if you've worked with Node.js, then I'm fairly certain that you've interacted with an Express.js server at some point. However, if you're just getting into Node, then Express.js is the way to go in 2020. Last but definitely not least, I'm gonna have to end it with Docker. With the rise of microservices, containers have become the de facto standard of creating scalable applications. And Docker is the way to create, distribute, and maintain those containers. Even if you're a front-end developer and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, when am I ever gonna use Docker? I highly advise you at least learn the basics, because I'm fairly certain that at some point you're gonna have to interact with the containers, even if it's just in your development environment. Now, before I go, some notable mentions would be Svelte.js with its explosive growth. The community seems to love it, as well as the Gemstack, which stands for JavaScript APIs and Markup. Now, I know what you're thinking, Gemstack is more like a whole category in itself rather than one technology. However, if I had to pick one thing for you to check out in the Gemstack ecosystem, it would be Gatsby.js. Definitely give that a try. You're gonna love working with Gatsby, especially if you've worked with React. Woo! That's all I had for you today. I told you it'd be quick. Worked up a sweat. Now, I hope I piqued your interest with some of these recommendations. Definitely try them out. If you're anything like me, I'm always looking for something new to learn, some new technology to play around with. And I can tell you that these 5 technologies I will be focusing in 2020, and I know I'm gonna have a lot of fun doing it. Hope you do too. Keep creating stuff, keep breaking stuff, and stay safe.